It was worth the shit, actually.
Yeah, no shit. All righty. We are live.
You're alive, baby.
Got the intro screen rolling. My God, look at that. What is up, everybody? My hat looks insane. Oh baby, I am who I am. My name is my name. I am with
He
Mr.
is who
Chris
he is.
Wilson.
What's up, peeps? How we doing, dude?
This is insane. I'm not sure what to do with all this information we're getting. So De'Aaron Fox just got traded to the Spurs, 3-team deal, including Chicago and the Kings, to get Levine to go to Sacramento.
Yep.
Fox goes to the Spurs. And I don't know if you've seen a report. I have not seen a report on what they have received, the Bulls. I know it's not going to matter. It's going to be picks. But
Yeah, so they got Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own 2025 pick back. I guess San Antonio owned that. I don't know what kind of protections that pick had when it was with the Spurs, but yeah, Shams followed up on his initial trade. So basically the Bulls got salary filler, and then that getting their own 2025 back though is huge because now that allows them to bottom out. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I guess they didn't previously have control. So the Sixers are the 10 seed is what I'm telling you guys. Sixers will be the 10 seed because the Bulls are finally going to go backwards. It seems like I wouldn't be shocked if they deal Vooch after this. No, I mean he's having a good year. It's probably
I don't know if you saw the report by Mark Stein he just dropped. Actually, this is all coming in.
Every time Stein drops a tweet, I'm like, do I just pay for the Substack? Like
yes,
and then I'm like, just wait 10 minutes. Someone's going to aggregate it.
Yep.
Like, don't pay it because I'm paying for enough.
Yeah. So he actually said the Warriors were in talks with Chicago to get Levine and Vucevic.
Yeah, that's right.
So I saw that, which means we already knew Vucevic has been in talks with a lot of teams. You know, the Heat apparently showed interest, whatever that means. Shout out to the Heat. We're the last domino to fall now.
That's got to be fun, though.
So you know Vucevic is on the market in general. We already knew this, but, I mean, they're going to go all-out fire sale here. I don't know why Kobe White can't get off that team and go to a decent roster, but that's what I would – he is the one player I would want.
It always feels like there's one guy whose age is young enough where the team's like, we can't offload everything we have. Like, and like he's shown enough promise where it's like, let's keep him around and maybe he's young enough to where – in their eyes, if you're a Bulls fan, he can he's young enough to play with the new regime, I guess, if you will.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Kind of that sweet spot. What is he, 24, 25?
Which is crazy because now the 25, 26-year-olds, they're the vets.
Bro, they're like 8. Yeah, someone was calling Kelly Oubre Unk. I don't know if it's Ricky and the boys, but
yeah,
Kelly's like, dog, I ain't even 30 yet, bro.
Yeah, who the fuck
like 10 years? He's like 10 years in the league.
That's crazy.
All right, so Fox to the Spurs, yeah. I mean,
I love it. Obviously, I don't know how you can't love it. I don't know what happens to Chris Paul in this situation. Is he now reverted to a 6-man? Is he shipped out? I don't know what happens to him.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That roster right there. Now you're doing what the Lakers did, which we will get to, but you've already had your reset with Wemby. And now you get to completely reset, and it's not through the draft. You have a guaranteed star. You know what De'Aaron Fox is. This is why that Lakers trade makes, I mean, just for them,
I still can't get over
it's a luxury. This is why people don't understand why it's so just rare for these trades to happen. It's a luxury. You get to go, oh, I get a proven guy that isn't even 30 that I know is going to be all-star level every year he plays ball.
Yep.
And mostly with this rebuild, you go from the first pick to a team now who next year, I mean, guaranteed playoff team.
Yeah.
But even now,
in the play-in mix, yeah. West
yes.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a competitive roster, though.
And now this year, you can fight. You can see what it looks like. You can get stuff in order, see who needs to go, who can stay for next year as well going into the offseason. But, I mean, I like the core over there in San Antonio.
No,
I've been watching a lot of Wemby.
Yeah. No, he's a draw by himself. So let's see. They're 2 back at the 10 hole.
Yeah.
And Sacramento's in the 10 hole. So, yeah. If you think Sacramento got better or worse, I don't know how it depends how you feel about Fox versus Levine. I think Fox is clearly better, but
Clearly.
I
mean,
also think Zach has had an awesome fucking year this year.
He has been hooping, bro. And I told you at the beginning of the year, I'm on Zach LaVine watch.
We talked about this. Like the guy's getting traded like he was getting treated like we got to dump him. Like, you sure Zach LaVine is in the tier of like, I know he's on a max, but like, he's not a dog shit player on a max contract. This is not Ben Simmons.
Getting
that. Like, let's see, LaVine 24, 5-5 on
efficient,
51%, 44 from three.
Bro,
this might be his best year as a pro.
He has been
might be his best year as a pro.
I always ask people, yo, can you? Because I can't ever make a list of two guards. You don't get too far down the list, and I know we've been in a
two guards weak.
Two guard has been weak, really. Like when Clay and Harden are your two, and DeMar DeRozan are kind of the three guys that are the staple two guards of your era, like post D Wade, kind of. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, Zach LaVine ain't too far down that list to me.
No, he's really not. I mean,
if you consider Kyrie a two guard next to Luka,
Book is in there.
Yeah,
but there's not too many. It really feels like it's gone. All the foreigners are like big men, or it's like wing tweeners, like 6'7" and up. Like there's not a lot of true 6'5" two guards left. Yeah, LaVine's probably high on the list. If we went down every team's roster and went through all their two guards, he's probably gonna be at the top.
Yeah, and then
in my head, he's not a wing to me.
Nah. Yeah. I started. So the tweets start leaking out. And Jimmy's homeboy said that the Heat declined LaVine in multiple picks multiple times throughout the last couple weeks.
Okay.
And that is the most that I would think is possible to get for Jimmy Butler at this point.
It's because, I mean.
And I love LaVine. I've been a LaVine apologist forever.
That's the thing with the Heat. If that's the case, the Heat are in a weird spot, like, because you guys are still going to try to compete. You know what I mean? You got Bam on the roster. You got Tyler Hero. Like, so they're in sort of the same scenario where they're offloading Jimmy. This one's different from the LUKA one, right? For a lot of reasons. But the biggest one is Jimmy wants out. LUKA had no fucking idea. And like Nico Harrison made that move, and he said, like, they made that, like, that's a team trying to win a championship this year, which is, like, we'll get into that. That's like, it's breaking my fucking brain. As good. We'll get to that trade in a second. I don't want to stray, but for the Heat, they're going to try to win now. And so for you to say no to LaVine, who, again, if you don't want a heavy picks package for Jimmy, your next best bet is get a proven player back, right? To sort of like replace what he does and reset the clock. I don't know how many better guys you're going to get than LaVine that are actually on the market.
None.
And that clearly tells me the Heat don't want to tie themselves to his contract, because I think he's got the rest of this year, next year, and then he's got a player option for the following year. So they clearly, teams around the league do not like his contract. I mean, he
would have already been traded last year when he was at home.
They were talking about attaching a 1 to him.
Yes, and everybody's like, nah.
Ben Simmons dumb. The league was like, nah, we good.
Yeah. They're like, we'll wait to see how it works out. Yeah, and I would love LaVine on my team. I mean, he's a wing scorer when he plays defense. I haven't seen enough of the Bulls. I'm not going to act like I've sat around and watched the number one pick in the draft close to this year outside the Wizards. But
I think it's rare a shit defender can turn into a good one. But if there's any team that could make it work, it's the Heat's infrastructure. And then I really do. We talk about this a lot. There is definitely something to change of scenery, motivation. Buy-in on a new squad.
Imagine the change of scenery is fucking Chicago to Sacramento.
Yeah. No, it's crazy because if you remember when he was leaving Minnesota, or was it trying to re-up with Chicago? I forget which one, but the Kings signed him to an offer sheet. He was with the Bulls. The Kings tried to sign Zach LaVine as a free agent. He was restricted. The Kings off 4 for 8, whatever it was. And the Bulls said, no, we want to keep him. And they matched it.
I was literally about to say.
Chicago. The Kings tried to sign him. They tried to sign him a while back. And the Bulls matched it, I think is the case. So it's funny that it all comes full circle. For the Kings, I don't know how much time you have.
I was about to say, like, what is there even a reason to speak about the Kings part of this? Because if you want to go back and talk about how much of a failure this has been for them, because people took it.
So we got to trace this back to the Halliburton trade. Like that's where this goes.
You go all the way to the Halliburton.
They traded Hallie to pair Sabonis with Fox. The franchise essentially chose Fox over Hallie.
Yes.
I'm saying they're wrong for that at the time. You should have kept both, obviously, but they made a decision. We're taking Fox over Hallie. Trade Halliburton for Sabonis. And now Fox wants out a couple years. Like, it's just DeMar goes there because he wants to win.
And it's funny with the NBA because where there's smoke, there's always fire. I always say that. If in the NBA, a player is sitting there like De'Aaron Fox and he's saying, well, I'm going to have to see how it goes. We got to see if we can win.
When they say I know verbiage.
I know off rip, you have gone to them and said, yo, if we are at this point and we have this record, I'm dipping. So you got that. And then I took it the other way than most of the public did. I think people thought they fired Mike Brown to keep De'Aaron.
Yeah, I didn't interpret it like that either.
I reversed it. I said, bro, they're bringing in a whole new regime and they're moving off De'Aaron to start the new regime.
Yeah, if anything, that was like the kickstart. So, okay, maybe shit's about to go.
Because I already see how this is going to, I can see it from a mile away. I don't know what the Kings think they're fucking doing, but they've always, since I have been alive, since 1995, outside of some Chris Webber years and the rigged Lakers series, the Kings have been dog shit. One of the worst franchises in sports, out of all sports.
Yep.
And what I can just see it now. When Zach LaVine starts expiring, and then DeMar DeRozan's up, and then Sabonis is left, or Sabonis is up, it's going to be a fire sale, or you're overpaying for aging guys that are not going to give you any ROI on the contract you're giving them.
Yep.
And then they're going to be in cap hell if they re-sign any of these guys. Because DeMar DeRozan gets to a point where he's just like, there's guys like DeMar, Kyle Lowry that aren't some super high level players. And I'm not hating on DeMar. DeMar still is a bucket. Still cold. Yeah. I think he needs to get analyzed when it comes to guys that are really hooping in their mid upper 30s as well. And I think those years in San Antonio kind of extended his career. He was kind of just sitting in the corner for a lot of those games. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that's the way I see it going. And DeMar DeRozan is just one of those guys that gets that minimum salary, like I was saying with Kyle Lowry. It's like, for some reason, these guys, Kyle Lowry is not good at basketball.
Yeah, not anymore.
But he's going to get paid his 18 to 20. Yeah. He's getting it.
No, it's weird because like the Kings are sort of, in their mind, I'm not saying I agree with the method because they're clearly, to anyone that's followed the NBA, they've been a team that you stare at and it's like, just blow it up, bro. Like, you're not doing anything here. But the Kings are operating like the Heat out west when you think about it, because they clearly decided when they offloaded Fox and didn't take back expiring deals, like they took on Levine's. He's got 3 years left. I mean, that's clearly a team that just sent out a star who asked for a trade and brought back another filler.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to stay competitive. Like they're not bottoming out in their head. Levine is coming in for Fox, and they're going to try to win. He's got 3 years of huge money left. They're going to try to compete. They're hovering around 500 in the West. Again, I don't think it's the right move. Like everyone that watches them play knows they're not a serious quote unquote basketball team, but they're operating under the same sort of rules that I imagine Miami will be, in a sense that I don't think when Jimmy gets dealt here in a couple of days that it's going to be for a picks laden package and expire. It could be, I could be wrong, but I think the Heat probably want to compete now. Now, how many players out there are you able to match salaries with Jimmy in the new CBA? I mean, I feel like those trades are damn near impossible.
They are.
So I'll be fascinated to see what happens with the Jimmy thing. Now, again, if he's going to, I mean, really all the reporting is Golden State and Phoenix. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And if Wiggins is part of that salary matching, Wiggins has this year, next year, and a player option the year after that. So like that's not an expiring.
That's what I don't want. I
don't think Wiggins is a good basketball player. Like
at one point this season,
his finals run was insane. I'll give him that.
And I think people are still kind of giving him that. And it's still the thing where he got picked 1 overall or 2 overall.
Exactly. Your draft status never leaves you.
And it's but his potential, and Wiggins always had some hooping in him. I'm like, yeah, he can hoop.
Yeah, like he's all right. He's not awful.
If these people knew how the draft analysts and people were looking at Andrew Wiggins when he came out,
Mm-hmm.
when he's dunking with his elbows above the rim and all that shit.
He was
They
consensus
were
number one.
talking
There was
about
no
him
debate.
like he was LeBron.
Maple Jordan, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what they were calling him at the time.
So it's just I don't want that in return. And I don't even want to talk about the Heat. I do not want to talk. I barely want to talk about my own favorite team. It's awful.
I don't want to talk about mine either. We can keep it rolling. Yeah. Sacramento, swap Fox for Levine. They're probably going to be a middling, below 500 team fighting for the 10th seed in the West.
How did the Kings get all these? I mean, the Kings turned out with a shit ton of picks.
Yeah, they got a bunch.
And the Bulls just leave with one?
Yeah. Like I said, the Levine is not valued as a player. I mean,
they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
like I'm talking about, like you can't even throw me a bonus for like getting this deal done with you.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so Bulls get their pick back, so they're able to tank. So they're going to start going in the opposite direction. The Kings, again, you swap Levine for De'Aaron Fox, and you get some capital. Not a bad deal for them if De'Aaron's forcing your hand, kind of is what it is. And then, Fox to the Spurs is going to be fun.
It is. I can't, and I've already been tuned in, like I said, to the Spurs a lot this year, just because Wemby is a must-watch. If you haven't got League Pass, get on that Stream East, whatever you got to do to watch Wemby.
Yeah, he's a freak show.
Is incredible.
And, like Chris Paul's been a solid vet point guard in the room, but like he's a little bit overextended probably. Like he'd probably be better off lessen his minutes low, get a real scoring threat like in that high pick and roll with Wemby. And man, Fox probably gonna see space that he's never seen before, because also when they're running that pick and roll with Sabonis and Sack,
no threat.
Yeah, there's no pop threat at all.
There's nothing.
So Sabonis has to short a half roll. He doesn't really have a mid-range game either. Like he's got to get the ball inside the block. So Fox, he's going to see some pops that he's never seen with Wemby. Wemby's probably, teams are going to get put in a predicament as far as how to defend that. So he's probably going to see some runways. He's not seeing it all in Sacramento.
And going to your point where he lives at, Sabonis, it is a thing like when you have a guy like Bam, Sabonis that kind of stay in one area, that's one thing that Wemby is never going to do. He's not just like you just see basically Sabonis doing the triangle offense, just going block, elbow. That's all he's going to do. But Wemby's everywhere.
Yeah. No, he's
handling, screening, shooting, in the corner, cutting. He's everywhere. So that is going to be, oh my God, I can't wait.
That's going to be League Pass fun at the very least.
It is.
I don't know. Let's see where they are in the standings. They're the 12 seed. They're 2 back of Sacramento in the 10. They're 2 back from Golden State in the 11.
But I don't think the thing is with Sacramento, I mean, De'Aaron Fox has been out for a lot of these recent games, and they're still kind of, I don't know, they're not off the deep end yet. They're already they're still in the play-in. Like Zach LaVine's gonna, once again, like you said, go to a new spot, want to prove himself. I just always wonder, like Zach LaVine going to Sacramento. There's no way he's just like, all right, I'm gonna be happy here and stay here for a couple years. Like, I'm always like, why aren't they asking for the trade immediately? Like AD just walk. I mean, I know you can't, but just AD walk in the room and ask for it. Like, I don't want to be here. Let me out of here. So I'm checking my phone just in case something else happened.
Yeah, get another bomb. Yeah, I don't know what to make of Sacramento, but San Antonio should at the very least be fun, and they got much better for sure. I don't know if it's enough this year to make any sort of push, but Wemby's coming. So. And Fox is young enough, right? Like he's 27. I mean, it's clearly a now and a future thing. That's a guy you could build with Wemby over the next 5 years. The craziest part is of all of it, and it's obviously because of Wemby, but that a star wants to go to San Antonio.
Yeah, like he asked.
Yeah,
he said, I want to go to SA.
I mean, that's Wemby. That's Wemby effect already. That franchise has been dead since that old regime sort of left. Pop's been coaching lottery team after lottery team, and now you finally got a dude who NBA stars want to go join with. So, I mean, good for them. Yeah, they got a lot better.
Can't wait. So let's get to the trade. The trade.
The Fox one's like, it's cool, but when you are online as much as we are in the breadcrumbs drop, it feels like it's already happened in your head. So when it happens, you're like, okay, like that was coming.
Yeah, and this is like when you watch a UFC card and the main event is 2 jiu-jitsu guys and they're wrestling, but every fight before that was a knockout.
For real.
You're like, dog, the co-main event was a one hit sleeper in the 5th round, and I get it was a good fight, It just wasn't as good as the other one. I got that alert, like you said, wake up, Sands. I was watching that war movie, The Covenant, with Neo.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Good movie.
If you would have said that, I would have been like, "Yay!"
Yeah. Me and Neo were watching a movie. Chris was like, "Fuck the Xbox." I'm like, "Oh, I sold it.
My bad.
I don't have one."
I was like, "Whatever you're on, bro, let's go."
Yeah.
The Covenant is the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, right?
Yes. Yeah, with the translator. Good ass movie. Yeah, so I was sitting there and then it hit my phone. I'm like, what is he talking about? And I did do the double take. Like, I thought it was kind of hacked. But after Chris sent me it happened, I was like, oh, it's real, for real. And I know everybody posted their live reactions to it, all that shit. This move by the Mavericks, I don't give a fuck what Nico says in these hit pieces. I don't care what Nico said to him, the coaches, how often he came to practice, what flights he took, wherever the fuck he did.
Yep, I don't care.
This is one of and it's crazy because you're getting a top 10 player swap. This is still one of the worst trades and it goes deeper than the player for player.
It's the biggest bombshell, I think in sports trade.
That's really what it is. It is just a nuke, a real nuke.
Like, because
it came out of nowhere. And I just go, if you're the Lakers, you finally made the best move you've ever made and the best move anybody could ever make, but specifically for the Lakers, who have finally kind of accepted LeBron's done here, right? Like, LeBron's coming to an end.
Yeah.
We need a guy that can keep us great for 10 more years.
They actually just reset the entire clock, bro.
And now LUKA could come to them at the end of the season and say, fuck off. Yeah. Now, we've never seen really a lot of European players that are stars in this situation because they're so loyal. And you're always going to take the max contract if you make that All-NBA team. You shouldn't even be in question of where you're going. That's why this LUKA shit was so crazy. If you add all the little nuances of this, the fact that he's at worst, the third, fourth best player on your list in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
The fact that he's 25. The fact that he just came off a finals run. Yes, he got slaughtered in that finals run by Brian Windhorst and the Celtics. But
Wendy might have beat him up worse than Boston did.
And I don't even know how this works on the court. I haven't even thought about it on the court. I'm more into on-court stuff with the Mavs over the Lakers, to be honest, because the defensive stuff with the Lakers is going to be really bad, I think.
Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be really bad. But
it's going to be nasty.
With the Lakers, to me, with the Mavericks, it's a perfect combo. I think it's a great roster over there, and I still think the Lakers are going to be amazing. They have LeBron and fucking LUKA.
Yeah, it's insane, bro.
I'm baffled. I still don't, every time I go I go back to the Shams alert. I'm like, he tweeted this.
When it came through live, everyone was like, good joke. Like, Tony sent it to me, and he was like, for sure got hacked. And I was like, no, he got hacked. Like, no, not even trolling. I'm like, yeah, he got hacked. Like, someone got into his account. And then Shams quoted it and said, yes, this is real. And I was like, oh, he for sure got hacked. Because Shams doesn't use that, verbiage. Like, it just wasn't typing like Shams.
It's Shams. You don't ever come back and double take it. Like, it's actually real.
The initial trade had all the rounds of the few picks that were swapped, but there wasn't a ton of detail. I was like, damn, whoever hacked this, they at least did a decent, it looked real enough. But I was like, nah, there's no way this shit happened. And sure as shit, once I think Bobby Marks quoted it and was like, no, this is real. Mark Stein was like, guys, this is real. The Dallas beat and the LA beat, Tim McMahon, when he confirmed it, I was like, bro, they just traded LUKA for AD.
Yes.
What the fuck? And nobody knew. Braun found out at dinner, apparently.
Yeah.
AD didn't know. LUKA didn't know. The Mavs apparently didn't. The Mavs called the Lakers, dude. And some of the reporting said they started talks a couple weeks ago where Nico Harrison said it, and Pelinka was like, come on, bro. He was like, no, if I was real, would you? Pelinka was like, yeah, I'll listen. I get that because they go back way back, apparently. Nico Harrison was
Nike
rep. Yeah. Nike exec, whatever. That whole trade is still fucking breaking my brain. It's broken my brain so hard that I've not even thought once about the Lakers fit on the court.
No.
My brain has not even gone, how's LUKA going to play with Braun? Because of the shell shock. Because like you said, guys, LUKA is the most decorated young NBA player in NBA history.
Yeah.
Like 5 first-team All-NBA nods before 25. Like a consensus top 3 to 5, top 5 at the worst player in the world. 25 years old. Like these trades never, ever, 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 ever happen unless a guy asked out. And all the reporting, Tony and other people I know were like, he had to have gone to them behind the scenes. Like his agent must have made a big deal. Like
No.
it's like, no, like the Mavs just didn't trust his conditioning.
Nuts.
And Nico watched LUKA defensive reels from the finals last year, apparently, and decided, well, if we have a better defense, we can win this shit. It's the most mind-fucking trade I've ever seen. Nothing will ever top that.
When we like start getting the hit pieces and stuff, it's gonna be in this last 2-month stretch, right? Like it's gonna be something like his injuries that have kind of accrued over this year, where it just seems like it's compensation injuries as well. It's just going further down the leg. I'm still baffled at the 1 pick. I'm still baffled that the Jazz it's like their go-to is just like, yo, we're always going to be the third team in the trade.
Yeah, we'll be here. Danny Ainge is like, give me something.
Like Danny Ainge is always, and then he's going to come back for a favor. But with the Nico and Rob Pelinka thing.
Did you see the press conference from Nico?
What?
Did you see the press conference?
Again, the follow-up move is even almost crazier than the initial trade, which is even crazy to say.
Jason Kidd is just sitting there like I feel like he's sitting there. He wants to be like, I did not sign off on any of this, by the way. Like,
yes. And he looks like him and Nico, that was the first time that they had spoken since the trade.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked like he was like, hey man, pressers today. Like I'll meet you.
They said, what's up to at the presser and then went about their business. But with the Nico thing, I always thought like the way that it was described, it was like me and you, very close friends.
Yeah.
And we're in like opposing markets, but we have the same job.
Yeah.
And we're trying to
like
get
Starbucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, all right, we're trying to both get this property. Well, it's mine, but would you give me that little bit of your commission?
Yeah.
Would you? And then you joke around about it. It's like our Tom Brady and Brandon Cooks for Kareem Hunt trade that happened in fantasy.
Yeah.
You're like, why not?
You both are kind of like, I might, but that shit can't be real. And then they text you again the next day like, yo, dog, just think about that.
You're like Rob is still hitting him like, hey, bro, remember, like, I really am going to give you AD. Like, just know.
I can't imagine being the Lakers being offered that.
He had to tell the room to shut the fuck up when he had it on speaker.
Hold.
Shut the fuck up.
Like Nico at the presser today said that the Mavs controlling owner like laughed at him, like when he brought it to his attention at first. Like the Mavs owner thought that he was joking. And there wasn't much reporting after that, but I guess Nico sat him down and was like, look, like this,
this is what we have to do. We have to trade LUKA fucking Doncic. Bro, we live in the DF Dub. The city is crying today.
They're depressed, like heavy. Multiple people are like, I feel like I lost a loved one, like straight up.
Bro, anywhere you go, I went to the gas station. It's the talk. That's all that it's, yo, bro. What were they thinking? And then it's the positive guy on the side, like, what, AD, man? AD's a champion. LUKA ain't got no rings. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck. And you know me, right, I know ball, but in public, I'm not just gonna be like, well, actually, the analytics say, like, I'm not doing that shit. But it was baffling just walking around where we live and just hearing the people mourn.
What's that? What's up?
No, you're good. We got wives and kids and, you know, not me in particular. But Chris.
You want to talk ball with us? Ball nowhere right here.
Yeah, real ball nowhere. Shout out Malls. But just
Metroplex is heavy depressed. I don't blame him, dude.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the on-court stuff, actually. With, like, Dallas, once again, I like this team on court than I do the Lakers. Now, am I saying that AD and
it's
Kyrie?
Crazy because the Lakers have Bron and LUKA, bro. Like,
yes. Am I saying that combo is better than AD or LeBron?
If they played in a series, who wins?
I think the Mavs win the series.
Yeah, I think we'll have to ask the question to get.
And this isn't the end of the deal.
The Lakers have to trade for a center.
Yes.
I'm thinking
But
Walker,
now,
like some Walker Kessler type shit.
This is the shit where, since you didn't make them actually pay, I mean, this is less than pennies on the dollar. Yeah. Now they can go overpay.
Yeah.
They'll
cash the rest in. Yeah.
Yes. They're like, you know what? We can actually go all in now.
Yeah. And because they used to, the picks that everyone's been talking about with the Lakers that are super valuable, it's sort of like they viewed them in the same light as the Clippers. Like we have I think a 2028 unprotected from the Clippers. You know, that's seen as like a gold mine because you look at their roster, it's a bunch of aging guys. By the time 28 hits, it's going to be gold. The same thing with the Lakers is they've been hesitant to throw in an unprotected one because they had 2029 and 2031. Well, Brown ain't going to be playing. AD's going to be north of 35. Like, who knows what he looks like. Like, those picks could be at the very top. This could be like another Boston Nets trade where they end up getting Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Now you have LUKA. Like, you are guaranteed to not bottom out unless he gets hurt, which no one can predict.
Yeah,
so you have no problem unloading the 2031 first because LUKA's going to be what, 31, 32?
Yeah.
Like, he's probably still going to be rolling. The guy plays like
he's
35 anyways. Yeah, he's going to be in his prime. He plays the same way as he will then. So you're less inclined to haggle over protections, and you're not – I don't want to say you're not going to care about the pick, but you're going to do what it takes to load the roster up now. And then, honestly, man, I mean, I know Bron said he wants to stay past the deadline. We'll see. I'm sure he'll see how the year goes. And, man, their cupboard is bare, though. Like, they are all out of capital. So, I mean, again, I don't think the Lakers right now are good enough to win a chip.
No.
It's funny because LUKA is unquestionably better than AD. But when you take AD off the Lakers, like, who, as it currently sits, they got nobody to guard the rim.
No.
LeBron can't guard the way he used to. I mean, he can lock in for a possession here and there, but he doesn't have the legs anymore.
Nah.
And LUKA just can't guard. Like, let's be clear there. If there's a Mavs fan watching this, don't give me like his ISO post defensive stats. Like, we're not doing the Harden thing, bro. The guy is
quick hands.
Yeah, Jokic has great hands too.
Yeah.
That defensive performance against Boston is it's probably the worst I've ever seen from a star player in a series.
I always said he deserved that shit. He deserved all of that.
He did. I agree. And we both love LUKA. You like him more than I do. And fair is fair. I mean, he couldn't guard his own shadow. So defensively, they look like a train wreck. But again, like, you know, Bron's much older, and no, they both don't play off the catch. Like, it's not as seamless of a fit as the Brooklyn Big Three, and it's only a Big Two, let's be clear. But the Brooklyn Big Three, when that shit was put together, you remember everyone was saying, well, there's only one ball, and they got no one to guard the rim. And Brooklyn just said, okay, we're going to score 125.
Yeah.
Like you can't play with us. It doesn't matter how we guard. When we can go shot for shot, and you have a couple, it's like the Boston Sixers game tonight. You have a couple empty possessions and fall asleep. You look up, and on a fucking 12-0 run like that.
Yeah.
Offensively, Lakers, I got no issues with. Defensively, they got no bones to work with because Max Christie, I'm not about to sit here and hype him up, but he was at least maybe an up-and-coming wing defender that you could sell yourself on that had some youth that could grow with LUKA.
He started getting some juice the last 10, 15
some BT,
games.
like,
yeah.
I mean, they're left with what? Their starting lineup is Bron, LUKA.
Jackson Hayes is out, I believe, so I think he's still hurt.
And he's terrible. He played. I know they beat the Knicks the other night, but.
And if you think I know the third string center.
Yeah.
And I watch hoop for real.
Yeah. So their starters have to be LUKA, Bron, DFS, Rui, and a center to be named when they trade for one in like 3 days.
Watch JJ pull out the LeBron at the 5 on defense.
Right. So then they'll have Connect. Oh, Austin Reeves. Does he start? Can you start Reeves, LUKA, and Bron? Either way, I mean, I feel like he's a perfect supercharged six-man. That's a good bench.
Yeah, that's his role to me anyways. Yeah. Like what young Tyler Hero used to be, kind of come in, splash up
your
like
rotation
12 points
guys,
in the quarter.
LUKA, DFS, Rui, Bron, a center to be named, Dalton Connect, Austin Reeves, Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt. I mean,
remember when Jared Vanderbilt was like some sought-after asset?
Yeah.
Bro, it changes.
It changes quick, bro.
18 months, a dude can be a sought-after player in the trade market.
It's like the Caleb Martin thing, man.
Yeah.
If you got a role player who you can cash in on like that, I feel like you should always cash it. But teams usually never do because it is hard to kind of get those guys on your roster. I get why you don't want to let them go, but yeah, I don't want to even judge the Lakers as far as on court until they get a center, which I really think they will in the next few days this year. But like you said, they have like bronze replacements on the roster, bro. This guy, the Mavericks went 20 years of Dirk Nowitzki and lucked into Luka Doncic because the Kings deemed Marvin Bagley a better player. Ayton went one, which was consensus at the time. Like, I'm not going to call that one crazy. I know hindsight's 20/20, but Ayton was kind of the consensus one.
Yeah.
So they sort of lucked into Luka. You know, the Hawks thought Trae Young was going to be a better player, so they helped them out too. Respect to Trae Young. He's a good player, but like, man, you can't tie together two eras like that with a foreign superstar any better than what the Mavs did. And they just offloaded him because they think he's fat and doesn't take conditioning seriously.
Like, literally.
Like, the thing that breaks my brain is normally there are, I don't want to call it a 50-50 split, but you get plenty of people on the other side who are like, no, like Dallas won the trade. Okay, the Lakers won the trade. Like, maybe it's split up and down by the people in the know. And everyone is like, what? And Anthony Davis is a top 15 player at worst, who's one of the best two-way players in the world, probably the best.
And people are pissed.
And people are pissed. Like, he was a throw-in.
They're like,
and it's nothing to AD at all.
No.
It's all about how the fuck do you trade Luka unless he strong-armed you, which he didn't. The report, like, everyone, their brains are broken, mine included. So I just.
And imagine, like, to me, AD, like 5 years in, really, probably 2 years ago, really came accustomed to the criticism of being a Laker as well. He really, like, just came into that to me. Like, seemed like he was more comfortable with himself. Didn't have as many, like, shy away games that he always had, where he would, like, do the Blake Griffin and have 28 the first three quarters, shoot 2 times in the fourth. He started coming into that. And now the pressure that's put on him from the Mavs fans, which it's not that yet, but they're going to put the pressure on him to replace Luka Doncic. They are going to put that pressure on him.
Yeah.
If he has one stinker, which AD is going to have. Big men. Yes.
Luka didn't really have those.
Yeah. So
not in the regular season.
Yes.
And Luka's one of the best playoff risers.
Exactly. Ever. And AD isn't so much of a playoff riser. He isn't a playoff dud either, though. He kind of stays even.
Yeah.
Kyrie is shown not to – I mean, I don't know what people have seen in the playoffs. I know Kyrie's cold as shit. He has a resume of when he's asked to do more than he's been asked for 82 games to not do what he is asked to do when he is asked to do more.
Yeah, it's different when you bump up from 1B to 1A or from 2
Yes,
to 1.
And now when you have two guards, 2 combo guards, it's a different game when one of them is off.
Yep, and they finally learned how to play together too.
Yes, and now when you bring in the big, now that guard is responsible for a lot more. And I'm not saying Kyrie ain't great enough to do it.
Yeah, he's a great
I'm
player.
saying in those spots where Luka is going on his own 16-0 runs while Kyrie is 3 for 13.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about. AD to me, and just a big in general outside of Joel and Jokic really, that get the ball when they want, how they want.
Yeah.
Those guys are not in position to be those volume scorers in a way that the guards are.
100%. It's easier to dribble as a guard. And like, to your point, like AD has never really been, in my mind, he's definitely capable, but he's never really been like dump the ball to him
and let him go.
Let him go.
Yeah.
Now our offense goes. That, not saying he can't. Like, you know, he can catch at the elbow, give you a jab, pump fake.
He's still AD.
Yeah, he's still cold. Yeah, but he's not like a like when the going gets fucking tough, you're down 2 to Minnesota under 10 seconds left. Like, you can put the ball in Luka's hands. He's going to make the right play every single time he has the ball. He's going to create an advantage on the floor for somebody. Now, it might end up in a DFS 3 for the win, and you live with that if it's wide open. It's kind of like the Bron thing. They always make the right fucking play. AD is not, in my mind, a reliable dump the ball to him late. And again, it's impossible for bigs. I appreciate you mentioning Joel, but Joel even struggles with that.
Yeah, I mean, we see that in the playoff games all the time. You give him a double team on the elbow.
I told you coming off last year, like, this was to me a bit of a passing of the torch for at least late game offense, where Joe said, Maxey, like, I trust you now. Like, you got to be the guard getting us in our shit late in the game. Because oftentimes guards or plus size wings who can dribble, they have to be the ones to create because it's a perimeter based game. You know, you send two to the ball on the block. AD tries to pass it out. The ball gets tipped. Like, it's a scram. It's just not as clean as a guard initiating a high pick and roll.
Yeah.
Always makes the right play. Then you got a 4-on-3 with a downhill roller, and the whole floor is opened up. Like, and Kyrie is not a natural passer. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and everybody looks at the
pass.
assist number and
right.
shit, but
it's like Maxey a little bit. Like, he's not a natural floor general facilitator.
yeah, he's getting assists off creation and not really like
advantage was probably created from LUKA, you know, breaking somebody down. Then you get Kyrie's catching the ball in a closeout, and then it's, you know, not that Kyrie's not capable again, but to do it for a full game and command the game, that's a different task that Kyrie's never had to do. And the only time he did, they were a 20-something win team. This is a long time ago, but you get what I'm getting at. Like, when you're asked to lead, it is different, bro. There's a lot of dudes who can be stud number twos. There's a ton of guys.
And then when he went to the C's, also that young Celtics team, Jalen was in his second year, Jason was in his rookie year. Kyrie came in there and stunk up the joint in that first round series. I believe it was against the Hawks or somebody like that. It was terrible. And with AD and the comparison to Jokic and Joel, I think AD is a rung below them offensively. And I think he is elite offensively. I don't think I just think those two are so dominant offensively.
They're getting the ball in their spot.
Now, if you talk about bubble 2020 AD and the way he was moving and the way he shot the basketball.
He had a jumper. Yeah, it's when he had a jumper.
That shit. I mean, we played him in the finals. I was devastated. Bro, we were double teaming him. He's hitting fadeaway jumpers on double teams. Like,
his jumpers never came back from that series. Yeah.
That was the best year AD will probably ever had. From the eye test perspective, AD has never been that good since.
Yep. And then the funny thing also, to like tie it back to LUKA, is it's being, you know, like Tony right now is in the acceptance phase. Like, I don't blame him because you only really have one option. Like, LUKA's gone. Like, your brain has to get to the other side. I mean, I would probably, I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably see how it looks with AD for a sec. But man, that first dud, like, you're watching old clips of LUKA. Like, you're pulling up the fucking YouTube reel, the Minnesota series.
The first quarter versus the Suns.
You're pulling.
You gotta watch it. He's gotta watch it.
Packed up a full franchise. Like, the thing that's crazy to me is too, like, that Mavs fans need to understand here is they can say all that about LUKA, and all of it's true. Like, he never comes in great shape. He always has to play his way into shape. His numbers at the start of every year are usually terrible. It's a little bit like Joel. That's why I can relate. I know what it looks like. And then when they get lower extremity injuries, you can't stay in shape because you have to stay off your feet, right? Like, when you have a strained calf, LUKA can't come back and weigh he can't weigh 248 when he comes off a calf strain because they can't do anything on it. And the thing that's crazy to me is LUKA's clearly had a recurring calf. I think it's 4 times this strain in the past 3 years. He is more available than Anthony Davis, like, point blank. Mavs fans are going to see because they're not watching the Lakers like that. AD has a ton of games where it's, he gets rolled up on. He's got a bad hip. He leaves the game in the first quarter. He hasn't played since our game.
Yeah.
We played Lakers, I don't know, a week ago, whenever it was. AD's not playing right now either. Just want to make sure people are aware that, you know, Kendrick Perkins takes it a little too far calling him street clothes at times, but it's like, you're not about to get a guy who's playing 78 games. Like, don't get the wrong. So all them nights LUKA are missing, AD misses those nights too. And you're going to be equally as frustrated. Yeah, when you're trotting out a team that now, I mean, AD's awesome. I think their defense is going to be amazing.
Yes.
I don't know if I've seen an official timeline on Lively. I hope he's coming back this year.
When they group together, though, those two,
because I think Lively can get down in a stance and guard.
Yes. No,
like Gafford can't do that. Gafford can maybe, you know, protect the rim with some shot blocking, but he's not. You're not really switching Gafford. I think Lively, you can kind of switch him a little bit. And we've seen what AD can do.
I see the mold where the Mavericks are kind of going. They're kind of going with the Lakers mold of the 2020 season, where you have
reference that. He also referenced the Cavs this year.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Which I thought was funny because the Cavs haven't done shit. I know they're like 40-9. I get it, but yeah, he referenced like the Cavs model. You know, 2 bigs. It's kind of, and AD's been clamoring for the Lakers to trade for a center.
Yeah, so
play the 4.
they're doing that model. And I said it 4 years ago when Joel and Jokic started going off, and Giannis, when they were really getting into those MVP runs. These guys are the best players in the world. I said the bigs are coming back.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, and that's what's so frustrating as a Heat fan. People are saying we need to get big now. I've been asking to get big Pauls for a while. Like, you have to realize, man, if you go back and look at all these championship teams, Looney and Draymond, Giannis and Brook, on the Celtics, everybody's 6'8", and they're the smallest guy on the court next to a Robert Williams or whoever. Who am I thinking of? Oh, anyway, with the Heat, they just don't have that. Oh, the Nuggets. That's what I was going with. Aaron Gordon and Jokic. The high-low game has just made a resurgence in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I always thought you got to go big. So they're doing all right, we're going to have AD be our guy that can give us 30, and defensively is going to have help.
Yeah.
We're putting 2 good-ass big bodies behind them, Pauls. And – yeah, that's what they're doing. I like it. It's like when they had JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, AD, all kind of circulating in that rotation. I like what the Mavericks are doing. They're going to be a top 5 defensive team from here on out.
If their defense isn't top of the line, then this is an abject. I think it's already a disaster long term.
And mostly with that being your reasoning. And on your injury rant, I was going to say, I would rather take 10 years of LUKA playing 57 to 60 games than the 4 years you're getting of AD playing 55 to 70, 60 games.
Easily. And again, I don't think it drastically – in fact, Vegas thinks it makes them significantly worse. This is not like you traded it's like the ages – if the ages were flipped, it would make sense to me.
Yes.
LUKA was the 32-year-old and AD was 26.
Yep.
That would make sense, at least. I could see the logic there. But for them to call this a win-now move and swap out arguably the best player in the world for someone who is not as good of a player as him, it doesn't make sense to me. And you hamper yourself in the future because you just cut 6 years off your timeline. And I saw Nico in his presser. He called the future 3 to 4 years because he was like, in 10 years, I might not be here. Me and J Kidd might be buried underneath the grave. Well,
and Jason Kidd looked at him like, because of you?
Because of you, yes. And they will be. Like, if they don't win a chip, I remember Brian Windhorst said this once, and I do agree. If you win one, you don't have to apologize. Like, if the Mavs get a chip when they have AD, okay. Like,
it's just like the AD trade when the Lakers did it.
Because you don't know if you would have won one with LUKA.
Yeah.
I'd argue you have better odds, but you don't know. So if they win one with AD, whatever, you can chalk. A ring's a ring. Like, they can't take that. But I feel like they're they're a different basketball team, much better defensively, but I don't think they're better. And so the 6-year age gap, to me, it's just an insane move. And man, like, if you're the Lakers, it's a home run. I think like you were really staring at a world where Bron walks away in a year at 41, and AD's probably asking out because AD can't be the focal point of a basketball team. He's a great player, but when they brought him in, they said we want to be able to. This will be the passing of the torch. Now they probably thought Bron would be retired by now. But I guarantee you take Bron off that team for 3 weeks with just AD in there, let me know what the record looks like because they ain't going to be that good.
No.
And that's not a knock on AD. It's just you can probably count on one hand the amount of guys who can be true ones on a title contender. Yeah. Not counting Boston. Boston's year last year was like an anomaly. Everyone just kind of cooked together. But I don't understand it from the Mavs perspective. And this is the type of shit where if I'm an owner, and you like bring that to me with a serious tone and you are serious, I veto the trade and your ass is out. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, that's the level I would probably be at.
It is a fireable offense.
Like, that's a fireable offense, bro. And he will not have a job if this era ends and they don't have a chip.
Yes.
Like, when AD is gone, Nico Harrison is gone as well.
And imagine though, and we're not even talking about.
And after that, there's no more future GM job.
Yeah, no.
No one's going to listen to your fucking consulting.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you put his entire career on the line.
His job security forever now is in jeopardy. And the other thing is, we don't know how short or long that leash is going to be. With one, you have Kyrie Irving as well. You have two Bs on your team, 2 1Bs, right? Yeah. And his injury history isn't that great.
Right.
Obviously, he didn't even play today.
Right.
And then you bring in AD, injury history not great. What are you going to do when you have those ups and downs in the season where maybe these guys both miss 15 games at once? You go 2-13, and then there's this growing frustration among the fan base, the ownership, all those ups and downs during the season. One of them could be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
And you can't
In
catch back
between.
up from – if
No.
you dig too big a hole in the West, you really can't catch back up in that conference. And then, like, another thing is nobody but Kyrie and maybe people he's spoken to know how he feels. Now, I'm sure he's excited to play with AD, but, like,
Yeah.
we don't know. Like, and Kyrie has been a – Mavs fans are going to hate me, but he's very clearly been a highly volatile personality in the past. He seems like he's in a very good headspace there, but he's clearly volatile. And Kyrie is a player option for next year. Like,
yes,
if this goes bad this year,
that was
one
my
of two
thing.
things can happen.
Yes.
Kyrie can walk. I know teams aren't flush with cap space, but Kyrie can walk. It wouldn't be the craziest thing. It's Kyrie Irving. And two, if he doesn't walk, whatever you think he's worth, he's probably played his way into it, but you got to max him now.
Yes.
Because he has all the leverage. If I'm Kyrie, I'm saying if I walk, you got Jaden Hardy out there running point. Try to not max me. Tell my agent one time. Try to negotiate with him one time below the max.
I'm asking.
See what happens. Yeah.
And I'm out of here.
It's volatile, man. And again, like I think they're going to be a good team. Like, I'm excited to watch them. Really, I am. AD, it's the first time he walks out that Mavs uni, I'm going to be like, the eyes are going to take some adjustment.
Yeah, you're like, yo,
Anthony
what?
Fucking Davis? The fuck?
Yes, and that's the thing
must
too.
Still be out. They about to roll.
Yes, and that's my thing with the Kings too. I always had this like vision of, okay, so Kyrie walks. Why would AD want to be there anymore?
Yeah, then you open up that can of worms. And
so
honestly,
then you're just you went from having a legitimate chance through the next 10 years of having a title. Like, you have a shot with that player on your team.
Yeah, you're a contender every year.
And you traded that away for somebody who can help you get a shot at a title, if that makes sense.
It makes no sense. I don't understand it. And, like, all the reporting was, too, again, if behind the scenes, LUKA's team was being weird, like they were sending mixed signals about signing the Supermax, which never happens. Every star signs a Supermax because LUKA would have been making $70 million a year because he can only re-up now with the Lakers 4 for $220 something. He could have signed 5 for $350 with the Mavs. Every superstar takes that deal. And then if they want out, then they ask out.
Yeah.
If you didn't get any signal from LUKA signaling that he was hesitant about signing it, which they've said, all the reporting is he was going to sign that deal this summer.
Yep.
Then if he asks out, he asks out. And you have a fucking bidding war with the top 5 player, probably top 20 of all time when he's done. And your entire franchise gets set into one of the best rebuilding scenarios ever.
Yeah, instead of being gutted. Because
you just gutted yourself. You got nothing back.
Bro, nothing.
You got AD, but like picks wise, there's no nothing. And so you got a first rounder from the Lakers. They have Luka Doncic.
Yes.
That one is not going to be worth much. I don't care how bad the personnel is around him. He is capable. He's one of the few guys you can count on one hand who can prop up a team. I don't know how many wins they'll have. Depends on the roster, but the pick is no longer valuable because you didn't trade a 34-year-old Luka. He's 25. That pick in 2029, he's still going to be on that roster. That pick coming back is not going to be worth much.
And you had the impossible task of now with this, the body of a 36-year-old that is a 31-year-old big man does not always end well. Their careers, look at Joel Embiid. I'm not saying it's over, but it's heading.
No, bro,
it goes away fast, man. And you're going to have to – Nico isn't going to have to answer to this in a couple years. That's what's so shitty about this. Yeah. He is going to be trying to make up for this. You're going to have to make up for 10 years that you're not going to get anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're trying to do. And it's impossible to make that happen.
Yeah. And Tony said, they must have known something we don't know. Like, his leg must be worse. Like, if Luka gets hurt, he'll look smarter. And
it doesn't matter.
You can't trade a guy because you think he might get hurt. It's not injuries are not really predictive. Like,
no.
You can't trade Luka and then be like, I'm confident he's going to get hurt in 3 years. The calf's going to turn into an Achilles and like, we'll look smart. Just wait. Wait 5 years. Trust me, it's going to happen.
Yo, if Kawhi Leonard went on the open market right now, they are getting a decent return. I'm not saying they're getting the Mikal Bridges package.
Yeah.
If Kawhi Leonard, who doesn't, he gets paid to sit on the bench and sit at home and go to the rehab facility.
Yep.
They may not get. They were getting more picks than what the Mavs got.
Yep.
Last night.
Yeah, I mean, we saw. I showed you the total return for KD at 34, off an Achilles. Like,
off an Achilles tear, bro.
I mean, they could have gotten like
this is
the trade. The trade could never happen because of money. But like, if LUKA was on the market, I don't know how many ones OKC has, but like that's the type of shit. Like, dude, I can clean. I want your entire cupboard. They're not getting all 17 or whatever the hell they have, but like,
yeah,
this is the type of dude where you have to scroll to finish reading all the picks that were sent out.
And then some players you're giving me.
Like you talked about this with Giannis a couple years ago. Like
what is the trade? Jalen Williams on top of that.
Yeah, like with Giannis, I think me and you talked a couple years ago, like, or LeBron even 5 years ago. Like, there is no package that exists that would be fair value for the. Like, there is not a package that even exists.
And it's proven with the Mikal Bridges deal and the Rudy Gobert deal.
Yeah,
and this makes the package exist.
About Mikal Bridges, man. Like, respectfully, 5-1s. Like, he's a decent. He's a good.
When you traded for him, he was going to be the second best player on your team.
Yeah.
And you traded 5-1s for the second best player on your team. I know that's relative to who the player is, but it's fucking Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, it's Mikal Bridges. Like, bro, I couldn't imagine what LUKA would have went for. If they were like, we're shopping LUKA, call me. I actually cannot even imagine what he'd go for.
And those are all hard offers. Yeah. Those are all like offers that you can call back in 2 weeks and it's still going to be there.
Yeah.
Those offers aren't going away.
Yeah.
For LUKA, they're going to be like, yes, whatever you want. Literally.
Literally. They'll say we want everything and we don't have any more. Like, this is everything. Yeah. Like, they'll send them a printed sheet of all their assets and they'll say, I promise you, sir, like, this is all we have. I cannot give you more.
Yes.
Like,
this is all the league will allow.
My first child, I cannot throw in there. Like, Adam Silver forbids it. It is not allowed, or else I would. The rest is on the table, dude. Take it. Dude, this is the craziest trade I've ever seen. I don't think one will ever top this. And again, I don't want to judge the Lakers on court until we see what they do at center. And I want to see how it works. I'm not damn sure not going to be the dumbass who says LUKA and Braun can't play together because we know they can't.
I've gone past that. I'm done.
I'm old enough. Yeah, I've seen enough basketball to know.
The way the NBA is now too, it isn't like, I don't know how to explain it. It's way more free flowing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
When people are,
you can never have enough guys who can create advantages. Yeah.
When people are on Twitter talking about half court offense, I actually get kind of pissed off. I'm like, bro, half court offense does not really exist. Yes, you have people with mid-tier, mediocre, or lower tier teams have to call plays to get somebody open. It is basic. It's a set. They run the same sets and run shit off the set. Yeah,
everyone runs the same shit.
It is all running through creation and pick and roll, bro. This is not some deep dive other than ATOs after timeout plays. Like, there is nothing really like deep diving in your brain where, oh my God, they're running a triple pick set and da-da-da. That ain't happening, bro.
Yeah, everyone's running largely the same shit.
Yes. So, but yeah, that is these trades. By the way, if I had my Xbox and playing 2K, I'm dead ass. Playing 2K.
Whoa. Wait. Okay.
No.
I thought I missed something.
Don't play, bro.
Jimmy is not going to the Warriors. I saw Butler trade buzz Warriors. In talks for Jimmy Butler.
He's unwilling to sign. So that means, by the way, there was an offer made by the Warriors.
Yeah. And one that Miami deemed acceptable.
Yes.
Jeez.
I would love to see that. God, can Jimmy just go? Or because this is the thing, I've moved past like, damn, Jimmy's gone. But I have a tweet from early like October, November, like 2 or 3 of them. I'm like, he don't give a fuck about playing basketball for this team. Like, I can see it. He wasn't dapping people up. He wasn't jumping on the bench, but I want him out. And it's not, I'm pro player. Pat Riley fucked this up. He did. And the thing is, as a fan, I can also say I have the right to say I see both sides. I think he deserved the contract for what he did.
Agree.
But as an organization, this is a business. We have to move on from you.
Yeah.
But this whole going band for band on petty shit is crazy.
Crazy.
They're both just like suspended. I'm skipping, suspended.
So it has to be Phoenix, yeah? I mean, that's the only team. But Bradley Beal has to waive his no trade.
Listen,
if Brad Beal doesn't want to play ball, like Jimmy's going to be on the Heat after the deadline.
Yeah.
There could be some mystery team jump in, of course, but this Jimmy shit is crazy because he said he wants his money. But you won't re-up with the Warriors, who will give you your money. Like, that's all you claim to care about. And winning, I guess. It shouldn't be hard to talk yourself into being able to win with Steph Curry. You got, 2 years left? 3, max? Ride Steph's twilight into the sunset with him and call it a career? Like, so he just wants to go to Phoenix.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's going to piss me off.
Bradley Beal has to waive his no trade clause. He has to.
Yeah, and he won't. And then at what point does the commissioner step in, or because how long do you let this dude just kind of corrupt a season and a locker room and a kind of holding us hostage?
That's the thing too, bro. I'd be shocked if there wasn't like some back channeling between Silver and Heat upper management. You're never going to tell a team to trade a player. Like, I know Adam would never do that. But for all those who are unfamiliar with Jimmy Butler, do we really think if the Heat don't offload him by the deadline, he's going to come back and just play hard? Like,
nah.
He might not put on the uni again. Like, that's the type of stand all business, petty levels that Jimmy is at, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's when it becomes, okay, so we're paying this guy.
Like, he might be like, I'm not showing up to work. Fine me the whole year.
Yeah. Like,
it sounds crazy. But he's already eaten millions of dollars on these small suspensions.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm crazy. I always assume most guys because people used to ask me that, like, well, a star asked out. So what? You don't have to trade him.
No.
I'm like, you're right. But, like, they always get traded.
Yeah.
Like, they always do. Whenever
because
they ask,
the return,
they get out.
Even if you get the lowest return possible for a star, it's nothing to get that pissed about other than this LUKA thing. Because it's not that. We have to realize that is an anomaly that we're not going to get a notification that Giannis was traded tomorrow or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's an anomaly.
Yeah.
So when you look at the other trades, it's kind of where you have to go with it. It's you got to trade them. And if it's not to the team that they want, it's obviously not going to work out because the other teams are not. When you're in a Jimmy situation, he's not going to sign here. Why would I trade this anything away?
Yeah, exactly. That's why they always get their way. Usually their preferred destination.
And that's what's weird because he's come out and said the Suns, and then he lowered the list, and then he said, I won't go to the Grizzlies. Now he's saying, I don't want to go to the Warriors. Come out and I think he's scared to do the Dame thing. I think he's scared to go, I exclusively want to go to the Suns. If I don't go there, I don't go anywhere.
And I think, like, if Jimmy was in Dame's spot, I don't think the Bucks would have pulled the trigger because Jimmy is just a different. Like, you could have confidence. Dame is probably not his preferred spot, but as a Milwaukee Bucks owner, he's going to show up and play ball for us.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to do the same shit he's doing to the Heat.
Yeah, exactly. So as a team, you're dissuaded.
Now, and it's a whole different situation because he was under contract.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, though, too, like, yeah, Jimmy just normally if no one in the NBA has a no trade except
Bradley
LeBron.
Beal.
I don't know if LeBron's is official.
Yes.
If not, he has one. And Bradley fucking Beal.
Yeah.
Like, this would have been done already. If Brad Beal didn't have a no trade, he's gone. He's rerouted somewhere. Utah.
I think the stat was that he's one of less than 10 players to have a no trade clause. Bradley.
And somehow it's Bradley Beal. Like,
Bradley
this trade to be done.
Beal. Look at the Wizards. Look what they're giving out.
Yeah. If you want to get a bag, go to Washington. And then just demand out. And, yeah. That's the crazy part. Because if he didn't have a no trade, the trade would be done. Jimmy'd already be in Phoenix.
Yeah. And I don't want Bradley Beal.
And then if you're Brad, you're like, well, if they don't want me, why the fuck would I be here?
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's why it always usually ends up happening.
fucking gross.
Because the Heat don't want Bradley Beal either.
No.
So you're probably talking about Brad getting rerouted.
I don't think we want anything that we're getting.
That's what I'm saying. And Brad's like, why ain't going to play him fucking?
But we're also, Pat Riley and them are also being picky about what we get, but we don't want anything that we're getting outside of the tangible things behind them, as in contracts and picks. Like, we don't care about the actual player. We care about what is attached to that player. But then now we're getting picky with that. I'm losing my shit over all this, and I don't know how the fuck Luka Doncic gets traded before Jimmy and Tyler Hero.
Yeah, it's insane.
I don't know how all these people get traded. Like, dude, Zach LaVine was free. And nobody would take him. And he still got traded before Jimmy Butler.
Legit. Holy
it's
shit.
Fucking nuts. Did you want to talk about the Super Bowl?
Or
we don't have to.
Let's pod next weekend. You down? Like next
Hell
Saturday?
Yeah. Let's do a next weekend pod.
I haven't. I'd be lying if I said I was up to speed. Like, matchups like tendencies, yada yada.
Yeah.
I sort of took this week and just like, because I'm a
relaxation week. You gotta get your R&R the week before the bowl. It's like you're the player. You gotta.
Yeah, I'm gonna be this upcoming week.
You gotta get your midday nap and shit.
Like I'm already like, we'll probably host a Super Bowl party, by the way, so you can pull through. But Molly's like, "Are you hosting?" I was like, "Well, some of my friends are," and I listened to a podcast 2 nights ago, and they were talking about it. It was a guy who's been going to this bar around the corner with like a lifelong Eagles friend, diehard, and all the people at the bar are diehards. Because they're in the bowl, now another buddy wants him to host a Super Bowl party. And like the wife's announcing it, and the pod was like, see, this is where you got to know your audience. Because then what happens is Mary Jo from work tells your wife she wants to go and bring her spouse.
Yep.
He's not really a football guy. And you're sitting there on 3rd and 7 with 2 minutes left, and he's talking about how good the queso is and how good the bean dip is. And I was like, in an ideal world, like there's a couple friends I'll watch with, like you, Taji, Landon. But there's some motherfuckers like Hess who are going to be coming over, and Hess's dad.
Every incompletion.
I'm talking every incomplete. When he's drunk, I hope the game is late enough that he doesn't get drunk. Hess, if you're listening, this is for you. This is nothing I wouldn't say to your face. Like, I'm not trying to watch a game like that, let alone the Super Bowl. I did that week 1. He was like that week 1 this year against the Packers, week 1. And we still won the game. And this is the Super Bowl, bro. Like these, like, I want to watch like in my sanctuary. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to analyze who's coming off the field. Oh, is Cam Jurgens out? Like, you want every single detail. I want to be locked. I don't want to be walking around the kitchen talking about how your families are. Like, that day is not for that.
Yeah, nah.
That's not for that. Not when it's your team. The Super Bowl is like a very public, like, girls like the commercials, like, everyone watches this game. But in my head, I'm watching this the same way a sicko would week 11 in November.
Yeah.
Except this one's for everything.
With a third-string quarterback.
I just thought the pod was funny. He was like, you got to know your audience. Because if you got like non-sickos coming over, he was like, I wouldn't host it. I'd go to the bar. The other guy was like, you got to host. Like, your wife wants to host. Your kid, he's got 2 kids. They're 2 and 4. And the other guy's like, your kids will not remember this day. They're too young. Like, everything he was saying, like, it sounds shitty, but I was like, I agree.
No, I'm the same way. That's why I think I've always thought Super Bowl
like me and you don't really troll anymore.
Yeah, nah.
It's cool. Like, there are times after a Heat game where we win, and I'm like, damn, I want to like, and it's like not like we're not doing that because it's not.
And I'm not even bothered anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not as bothered as I used to be.
Exactly. We all used to get riled up.
Yeah, and with that, I always thought Super Bowl parties
lose,
were
I'm gonna be like,
yeah,
like I'm in my house. I'm not. You got to dap everyone up on the way out, like. And I'm fine with fanhood. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to sit up here and sound soft. I love talking shit. I will talk my shit. But like, you don't need to poke me after every first like incompletion. Like, just let the game play out.
Yeah, and I don't like how many memories and like moments I've kind of lost by being in the scrum of a party.
Yes.
Because like I used to go to my parents all the time, and they're all like sports oriented, but the host and shit like play games like gambling games in the middle of the Super Bowl. I'm like getting involved in that, and then I'm like, wait, what happened? That was a big down. What the fuck? And so now I go to those parties like recently, and I sit there and I drink and I watch the game super intensely, and then it feels like I'm away from the party. There's no good in between.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I have no problem doing that. Like
Me
everyone in my
neither.
life that really really knows me, I will sit like if you want to come over, you know what it is.
Yeah.
You can go walk outside, you can take a shot, like talk about the bean dip, but like don't walk in front of the screen.
Yeah, no.
Like
And
we're
Nia
not
knows
like
that
I'm
now.
right here. We're not
It
doing
used to
that.
be an issue, but I was like, yo, if a Heat game
That's
is
the thing. They
on,
make you feel guilty about it. Like when you first
yeah,
get together, but then you're
like
like,
bro, like we went
I'm
to a
like,
baby shower. It's fucking the Eastern Conference Finals.
yeah. I'm like,
The game is on my phone.
yeah. I'm like, babe, I really don't ask for much, but like the Sunday Eagles window, her family knows now too. Like they'll text her, do you want to come over for dinner? We check the Eagles game. They have the noon game. Like, and so I feel guilty still to this day that
Nah,
our parents are
part of you.
scheduling plans around the slate, but I don't feel guilty enough to apologize for it. Like this
Yeah,
is
no.
what it is. Like she told her family, I went to Philly last weekend alone. They're like, wow, he's going alone. And she was like, oh, he loves that shit. And her mom came over today. She was like, I can't imagine going on a trip alone. I was like, no, that's where I'm at. Like my most peaceful.
Yeah.
Like I don't have Molly's to-do list. I can, when my social battery runs out, I can go back to the hotel, grab some Chinese, like lay in bed. I was like, I fucking love solo trips. Like that was the time of my life.
I can't.
So yeah, I've been like not hesitant to host a party because I know I will. I did last time we made the bowl, but yeah,
I start my new job the day after that, so I won't even be like.
well, that's the thing. I'm
hammered.
not getting crazy too because we're
Yeah.
adults now. We got work the next day. I've been saying for years they either need to make the day after a national holiday or move the game to Saturday.
Yeah.
Because as it is, no one can have fun, or you can have fun, but you can't.
You got to
game's
drink
at
it
5:30.
1
Yeah.
p.m.
Most people got to drive home. I'm lucky enough to not have to do that. And with my team in the bowl, I'm not trying to get fucked up. I want to watch the game.
Yeah.
The year we won the Super Bowl, we had that party at my apartment. I was
Hammered.
messed up. Like I could not recall. I had to go rewatch the game, like really, and it was like I just knew we won. I had to rewatch. Like I lost a key fourth down late in the game to Zach Ertz on a 4th and 3 where he barely got the sticks. Like I don't remember any of that, and I was like, I'm never doing that again. So
Yeah, I got hammered during the Bucks Tom Brady Bowl, but that game it was also shitty.
Yeah,
it was shitty to watch that game. Like it was shitty to win that way because I was so used. Also, Tom Brady gets a game-winning drive every Super Bowl he's in, so I was like, it's going to come down to these two.
Yeah.
Chiefs didn't have enough on the offensive line for that pass rush, but yeah, it was a boring Super Bowl. To be honest,
I would take a boring win. Like,
yeah, still fun to watch. We still won the bowl.
And I know I'm like this is probably gonna be a sweater. Like it's
this is a perfect matchup, and we'll have to talk about it next week. But I absolutely I'm in love with this matchup for a Super Bowl.
Where are you leaning right now?
I'm
these games suck because, dude, like you're gonna ask me when we pod next week, and I genuinely feel like I'm going to have the exact same answer as I did in 22, like the exact same answer.
Yeah, I think it's better team versus best.
We have
players.
the better roster, hands down.
Yeah, by
and
far.
They have 15. Like I remember everyone asking me the weeks leading up to that, how you feeling?
And
like, we're a better team. I know that.
It's a setup.
It just feels inevitable. Like
y'all are
15
both
is over there.
And y'all both have just grinded out wins. That's like both of y'all's kind of. I know y'all blown some people out here and there, but most of the time it's like, yo, we should have won this game by 14-17, and we got to get a game-winning field goal. And the Chiefs had a lot of those too.
I swear that's all they won.
That's all they did. So that's why, like, what they're doing in the playoffs, they're like, it's like what the Heat did when they were the play-in team and went to the finals. Not because the Chiefs were 14-15-1, but with the starters. But with that, it is every game's close. When we get in the playoffs, every game's going to be close. This is every game does.
Yep, they know how to win. That's the funniest thing. It's like to beat them, you like have to blow them out.
Yeah.
But they don't get blown out. Because if they're in a tight game, 15 is going to out-execute you. But you can't blow him out either. It's like,
I thought
what the fuck is my win condition here?
After the first or second turnover, I thought the game was over. After Mahomes fumbled, I believe, I thought the Bills game was getting – I was like, all right, it's a wrap. It's wraps. They're going to get a 2-possession lead. They're going to run this clock. It did not matter.
Bro, we were up 24-14 last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
At half. Like, a couple people over, like, you got to be feeling good. And I'm sitting there like,
No,
I'm like, no,
15.
bro. Actually, we could have been down 15 up. I would have felt the exact same because the score doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, and
Sure as shit. That's the most painful loss of my life. Probably it's that and the Kawhi shot, 100%.
Yeah, I'll say this here publicly, and everybody, if you know me, you know what I think about Tom Brady.
We could do like a mini preview today, and then we could do a deep dive next weekend. I'm down.
Yeah. This is the only player. This is like my only thing I have to say about it. This is the only player I have ever compared to Tom Brady. He is the only player I have ever thought could be better than Tom Brady. So, and if you know me and the standard I put Tom on and the pedestal I put Tom on, like he's untouchable. Like how everybody looks at Michael Jordan, that is Tom Brady to me. Nobody can be Tom. I've seen too many snaps of his and too many game-winning drives and things that he does to top him, and that's how good Mahomes is. And I can't. And when I'm in between and Mahomes is on one side, I always go to that side.
Yeah,
so
I don't
we'll
blame
see
anyone.
what happens. But the run game and shit for the Eagles is obviously something that I'm looking at.
Yeah, agree. I was watching James Cook last week, and I was like,
you can get some shit off.
It's funny too because all the previews are like, well, they're going to make Jalen Hurts throw. They're going to stop Saquon. And I know it's the Chiefs. I know it's Spags. But I'm like, there are plenty of other smart defensive coordinators out there with
that have tried the
same shit every fucking week. And ask them how that went. I mean, the only team to really stymie him was Pittsburgh, really. And I think he had a down week against Dallas the first time, but we blew it. It didn't matter. He wasn't needed. I'm like, you're a fool if you don't think that's every defensive coordinator's game plan.
Yeah.
Now, maybe Spags is so great he executes it differently, yada, yada. But that's what I'm saying. I look at the matchup, and I'm like, we are better.
Yeah.
Like, we should win. Like, they can't stop us on the ground. They're the best pass defense in the NFL. We can actually pass off a mesh route this time. Yeah. They don't really have the receiving talent. It sounds just like 22, man. Except when you look at the 22 Bowl, we could not run the football at all. Now Jalen Hurts had
he was
the best game of his career by far.
And it may take that again.
Yeah, no, it might. I think that's why. And again, everyone's like, well, they beat the shit out of Washington. I'm like, man, do not compare Washington's defense to Spags and the Chiefs. I'm not saying they're the best defense in the world, but it's still playoff Spags and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like that corner blitz they sent against Josh Allen, they had no fucking idea that shit was like Spags will dial some random shit up.
Yeah.
I trust them a lot, but yeah, I look up and down the matchups. I'm like, we're better here. We're better here. We're better here.
Yeah, me too.
Here.
And
I can't. It's hard to be like Eagles comfortably. Like, Temple, you can't do that. The Chiefs just don't lose like that.
Last question before we leave. I just want a one-word answer.
One word. All right.
Going forward in the next 5 to 10 years, who has the better franchise outlook, the Lakers or the Spurs?
The Spurs.
I'm there with you. Yeah. To me, the Lakers looking at too much auxiliary to make what the Spurs have happen. Like they're going to be looking for the match made in heaven for LUKA for a while. So, yeah.
And I think it's because, again, like the Lakers just don't have really any more I mean, they have the 2031 one. And I know picks open up as as the next year comes, the next draft 7 years from now gets unlocked. But the Spurs still have real stuff to trade. And Wemby is also 5 years younger than LUKA and is probably going to be the best two-way player in the NBA. Maybe as early as next year. Yeah. And it might be as early as next year. So, it's the problem now is they decided to expedite the timeline. And that's because Wemby is too fucking good to tank otherwise. They would have had to pull some nasty like Lauri Markkanen Jazz type tanking. He's out for these 2 games with a foot. Unfortunately, he's so great, so fast for them that you're not going to be picking anymore in the top where the difference makers usually come. You know what I mean? So, but I'm confident they have enough assets. And I'm thinking if and when they cash those in for, I don't know, name a player. Someone always shakes loose that you're not expecting right now. When we're sitting here doing this pod 3 years from now, we're like, oh, it's like so-and-so's going where? The guy's probably not even in the league yet. Who knows? But so and then once they build a competent roster, the Spurs, I think little things like buyout guys or fringe vet minimums in the offseason are going to be I want to go ring chase there.
Absolutely.
Like the Yabuselis, like like people like that who can actually make a difference are going to be like, no, let me go team up there. I'm cool chasing a ring with him. It's probably close. It's probably close though.
And even with this constructed group, I know their record hasn't been great or anything, but Sohan has turned into a really good pro basketball player. Keldon Johnson is always one of those guys that everybody's like, yeah, I like him a lot, but he isn't like some top tier talent.
He's a good NBA rotation guy.
And he hit his ceiling very early. Vassell's developed into like a real offensive player, and he's early in his career. And Castle, man, Stephon Castle, I like that kid's game, and he is dog. He has dog.
He's got a nasty streak to him. He's gonna be good.
Yes, he has the motor of like a Daniel Gafford type guy as a guard, and you don't see that often. Where he can just play all game, hard defense. He's still a good pro on offense. He just hasn't developed that jumper.
Yeah, once he gets a jump shot. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Spurs. What about you?
Yeah, Spurs.
Spurs, yeah.
Yeah, I think LUKA is.
It's hard not to. There's a 5-year gap to an age like it.
I think LUKA is going to lift the floor of the Lakers more than I think. Just he has that LeBron quality where he is the biggest floor raiser in the league to me. And Jokic,
he's going to be a better offensive player than Wemby, like throughout Wemby's whole career. I think.
And just being like the thing everything rotates around, and being the passer and creator and stuff. And that's why they brought in De'Aaron, obviously. But yeah, I think the Lakers now have gone from a place where nobody wanted to go, still nobody wants to go.
He unlocks the same sort of logic too for them. Like to your point, like there's gonna be some guys like, I get to be in the LA market and go play with that dude.
I get to be a Laker. I get to come play with LeBron and LUKA, and LeBron's going to be for another 2 years probably.
That dude is gonna get me a contract.
Yes.
That dude is gonna get me paid. When I get to stand in the corner, work on my jump shot all off season, and I get to shoot 39% from 3 on 4 attempts a game, like somebody's going to pay me because I don't need to dribble out here. I'm thinking of like DFS, like that type.
And guys that get to the playoffs like LUKA, that's where guys get overpaid. That's where you get like the Derrick Jones Jr. contracts and the PJ Tucker contracts and stuff like that. Once you have any glimpse of the playoffs, if you're out in the first round and you played well in that first round series.
Yeah.
I mean, guys like Jaden McDaniels, things like that, like those guys get paid off just those tiny 100%. Like off those sample sizes, that's how people get paid. So very interesting.
Bro. I'm excited to like watching LUKA try out with Braun is gonna be like, bro, that's crazy.
This is gonna be fucking nuts. So, but it was a great pod, Chris. I love podding with you. Heat videos coming up, man. I had sat here and delayed everything throughout these Jimmy Butler things, and I was waiting for the rumors. I was going to stream after the game last night, but I didn't. But yeah, I'll be back with a lot more when I start the new job. I get to wake up at fucking 7:30 like a normal person instead of 4. I'll be up late streaming after every Heat game, most likely. Like,
oh yeah, so you get back on a normal schedule too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's really going to generate the content creation
after the bowl. One day after the bowl.
Yes, literally after the bowl. So that's right after. It's going to be All-Star break. It's going to be a perfect time to transition into doing like a lot of content and stuff. I just can't do it waking up at 4 and going to bed at 9. So
you wouldn't hear from me if I was waking up at 4.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
so
man, every day, like I'd be.
Yes, every day. So it's shitty, but we're going to get the content rolling. It's going to be cool. But yeah, Chris, it was fun. We'll be back next week with a Super Bowl presentation, and I'll be at his house for a party. So
Yep.
we out this thing, man. Deuces.